Okay, so this is a video presentation too, and we are team two, and we are presenting the case study on Bhopal gas tragedy. So my name is Akshay Parmar, and I am a current student. I am a Masters of Chemical Engineering student.
My name is Tian. I'm a student in Master of Engineering of Mechanical Engineering.
Hi everyone, I'm Deepak. I'm doing MNG Chemical Engineering.
Hello everyone, this is Sareb and I'm doing Masters in Electrical and Computers Engineering.
Hello team, this is Shubh Darji and I'm pursuing my master's in chemical engineering.
Okay, so as we previously mentioned in our previous video presentation, that we are doing case study on the Bhopal gas tragedy, which was happened in December 23 in 1984, and it has done tremendous tragedy in Bhopal. So from that discussion, we have mentioned some biases. So first of all, what is bias? So bias is a tendency to favor one perspective or doing favor to someone else ideas. So why bias matters in engineering? So in engineering, bias can cloud judgment, reduce safety, and lead to poor unethical decision, especially in industries that affect public health and safety. So there are several types of biases available, but the four biases I am gonna talk about, which is related to Bhopal gas tragedy, is a profit over safety, underestimating risk, culture and regional biases, and confirmation biases. So profit over safety, it's like every time businessmen going to bias about profit, not about safety. So they have to balance between profit and safety. But nowadays everyone is going toward everyone's becoming biased towards profits. Same like they underestimating risk, culture and regional biases, and confirmation biases, like ignoring warning, leading to a poor decision making. That's all about biases. Now one of my friends going to talk about discussion system.
So this is where it becomes the main root cause for the disaster, the system issues. Hello everyone, today I'll be discussing the system issues in the Bhopal disaster, focusing on failures in system safety and regulation. One major issue was the deactivation of critical safety equipment like the vent gas scrubber and refrigeration unit, which were turned off to save the cost. This lack of oversight directly contributed to the scale of the disaster, emphasizing the need for strict and enforced safety standards in high risk industries. Another major issue was the lack of corporate accountability. Union Carbide tried to shift blame by accusing local operators and even suggesting sabotage. Meanwhile, local authorities hesitated to enforce strict regulations because they were economically dependent on the company. This highlights the importance of strong accountability frameworks that hold corporations responsible for both local and international operations. The last one is double standards in safety for multinational operations. Union Carbide's Bhopal plant lacked the safety measures that were standards in US facilities. This double standards reflects how multinational companies sometimes bypass strict practices when operating in developing countries, putting communities at risk. The next one is the lesson learned.
Okay, so I will discuss the lessons learned and their relevant future actions. So the first and foremost lesson that we learned from the incident is that expanding industrialization in developing countries without appropriate safety regulations can lead to catastrophic accidents, environmental degradation, and public health crisis. Another lesson followed by the first one is that establishing uniform international regulations for hazardous industries is crucial to enhance global safety standards, such that these regulations would ensure that all countries adhere to consistent safety protocols. One of the most important lessons is learned is that the industrial facility should be situated away from the urban areas to minimize risk to local population, and the government should be responsible for financial support to give financial support for emergency services to the communities. The one of the major lessons that we learn from the incident is that adequate public health infrastructure must be integrated into the site selection process for hazardous industries. Okay, now so moving towards the future actions that basically are relevant to each of the lessons that we discuss is that the first action rises is that the government should develop country-specific safety regulations, conduct risk assessments, and strengthen regulatory agencies for industrial safety. Another action that says that establish enforceable international safety standards and conduct regular audits for multinational hazardous industries. One of the major action can be implementing zoning laws, fund emergency infrastructure, and provide community education for hazardous site safety. The last action that came out for discussion is that public health assessment is mandatory. So such laws and regulations should be developed so that public health assessment and corporate investment in local healthcare for hazardous facility site selection shall be developed. Now my friend will carry on for this presentation.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad. So that is the wrap up of the case. So far, we have analyzed the ethical failures as well as the countermeasures for those failures and prevent them from happening again. So, what is the driving force behind all these unethical decisions of plant management? Do they primarily come from people's greed, or is it the combinations of both external and internal factors? So, in this context, what I mean is, while the neoliberalism's ideology is fundamentally positive, we can say that it's boosted the economy tremendously. But a few examples could be USA in the 80s, UK also in the 80s, and China economic reforms in the 70s. Was there any chance it may inadvertently encourage undesirable motives? Um, the answer is yes. We will be discussing the unethical actions under the scope of neoliberalisms to see the downsides of such a good ideology, because everything comes with a price. So number one is the market efficiency. It boosts the morale of pursuit for profits, which leads to cost cutting for safety standards. And this action has been further facilitated, even though not intentionally, by the deregulations. In addition, privatizations empowers private sector to be more independent, but on the other side has a negative outcome, which protects companies from having to disclose information that could impact public health. And in terms of globalization, so bringing many jobs opportunities, but at the same time, foreign investment often got more privileges from the government as well as a weak regulation framework. This is a common issues in developing countries. All of that leads to double standards, even though the severity is the same in both the developing country and the developed country.
Just
This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.